Yes, good evening. Vanakkam. Ayubowan. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, good evening. Shall we start? Can you hear me? Am I audible? Are you there? Can you see me? Is the screen visible? Please respond. Shall we start? Hello, guys. Am I audible? No? Hello, can someone tell me, am I audible? No. Hello? Assalamu alaikum. Vanakkam.
Audible and visible.
Yes. Why don't? Okay, thank you. So this is our second session. Last week we had one session, and we have learned something, right? So most of you have gone through the YouTube video. Sometime some of you might have attended the class. So anyhow, I will do just 5 to 10 minutes revision, and after that we can go into this today's session. Right, today's session is here. This is displayed over here. Understanding the functions of internal auditors, external auditors, audit committee, audit management committee, and committee on public enterprise (COP) within the state universities in Sri Lanka. This is our today's topic. Right, before moving on to this area, we can have I can run through the slides or areas that we have covered in the previous class. Right? Are you ready? Are you ready, guys? If you come across with any doubts or if you need any clarification, you can raise your hand and you can ask. Right? I'll stop the lecture and I will explain. Otherwise, you can send it in the chat box. Right? I will see and I will reply. Right? Hope you're ready. So this is the area we have covered last week. Right, I introduced regulation is important and how these financial regulations are applicable to our university system. Right, this is the area we have covered. So this green highlighted area we have already completed. Right, I'll take within 10 minutes and I will recap what we have done in the previous class. Right, so here this financial regulation is applicable to all state employees. So we are also coming under that scope. So, right, this green area, my plan is to do this green area today, right? Green, ice green with some wordings or sentences are highlighted with red letters, right? So that is the area I'm planning to do for the today's session. Right, with that, I have introduced about treasury and their functions, right, and I introduced the types of fund and connected with our university fund and university act to some extent. I have explained those areas, and right with that, I introduced we were discussing about the accounting officer who is the accounting officer of university. Then what are the responsibilities or functions of the accounting officer? So normally accounting officer is in the university system. The respective vice chancellor of the respective particular university will be treated as the accounting officer, which has been clearly mentioned in our University Act, right? So similarly, the registrar will be holding the or act as the assistant accounting officer. So normally, this accounting officer or assistant accounting officer, or one more thing, right? Chief accounting officer will be the secretary to the relevant particular ministry. In our case, secretary to the Ministry of Education will be the chief accounting officer, right? These guys or these people will be accountable for the financial matters, financial affairs, right? Keep in mind, these things are the accounting officers, the names accounting officer, chief accounting, but this is coming from the word accountability. So they are accountable for the financial operations, financial affairs within the purview of the particular institution. So I say if it is Colombo University, right? Colombo University Vice Chancellor will be the accounting officer of the Colombo University. UGC chairman will be the accounting officer only for the UGC, right? Okay, so hope you can understand. So I connected these areas, right? You might have learned, right? You might have already known who is the accounting officer for your exams, right? For your competitive exam, you would have learned, right? Accounting officer, vice chancellor, that is, right? Actually, I have explained in the previous class what are the responsibilities, so functions of accounting officers, right? That is given in this financial regulation, right? So hope you might have gone through and you have read some areas, right? Those are important things. So let's move. You no need to read all the areas. You can just go through the areas that I have highlighted, right? No need to mix and mess up, right? Because so many things, so many areas included in the financial which are not relevant to us, right? This is the financial regulation issued by the Ministry of Finance, covering all the departments, all the ministries, all the commissions, all the universities, corporations, right? All the government institutions are covered under this, they are governed under this financial regulation. So certain areas are applicable and important for us, right? So these are the areas we have done. So again, right, I'm dragging down. Only a few minutes to go, 2-3 minutes will take. And this is also one of the most important area from FR1 to FR13. This is regarding the losses, right? Yeah, it will take, we have to take another one class, right? If you're interested and if I'm continuing to do the class, we will cover this area in one subject, right? There are so many losses, vehicle accidents, so losses to the property, right? So inquiries will be held, how these things are happening, and those things we have to learn. So this is also one of the most important thing, right? You just have an idea. FR 119 surcharges, right? I will connect this in today's class. I will introduce this wording surcharge in today's class. And this is also sometime I may talk in today's class, right? This is installment surcharges or recoveries will be maybe made in installments. So the approving authorities, who are the approving authorities, right, when we want to recover or surcharge some amount of money from the public offices. Here, right, again, chief accounting officers, who are they and what are the responsibilities? What are the responsibilities and functions of chief accounting officers, right? FR 127. And again, what are the responsibilities of accounting officers? And these things we have learned. And most importantly, one more thing I introduced, right? One more thing, the delegation of financial functions, right? In terms of expenditures, four things are delegated, right? Four things are delegated in terms of expenditure, that is authorization, approval, certification, and payment. And this is the most important area, and AR or AB or AIA, all are connected to this area. All we want to have some ideas about this. What is authorization? How this is happening? What is also what is the limit for authorization? What is the for vice chancellor? What is the limit for bursar? What is the limit for registrar or for deans? Right? For myself, for the AB, right? What is the authorizing limit? So these things you want to know, and it is there in universities, right? It is recorded there in the university. It is available. You can just get this delegation from the bursar or someone, right? Approval, right? And after that, certification of vouchers, right? Last one, payment of payment vouchers, right? Payment. So these things we have learned. So hope you have got some ideas. As I have already mentioned you, this session or this class is not to feed you everything, just to give some reference or give some ideas. So you are the people, right, going to play a big role in the university system. So you have to go and search and find anything, whatever you want in deep. So when you are practically involving with your work, right, in future, right, you can learn everything, right? So for the first day or second day, for within 1 week, it is impossible. But anyhow, in future, maybe take 1 year or 6 months. That depends on the right nature of the people, right? Some extraordinary cases they can even pick up within 1 month, right? So with by introducing or recapping the previous session, let's move on to the today's session. Actually, today's session also is the most important area, and which is relevant not only for the ABs, right? Not only for the ARs, not only for the AIAs, right? This is commonly, even not only for the AIAs, this is actually required, or the knowledge of this auditing area should be for everyone, for every public officers, right? They want to aware about the auditing part, right? Okay, so this is our session, understanding the functions, right, of internal auditors, external auditors, right, mostly. Some of you may know the wordings, right, words. But today, so in your university studies or maybe in some other studies, you might have learned for so many exams, right? And you have applied and you have written answers and got full marks. But now you are in the scene, right? You are in a practical scenario. You have to apply. This is the application part. So I'm going to link and I'm going to relate the application of these things with the university. So practical scenarios. I'll tried for my best. I will try to give some practical scenarios, right? So before that, you have to visualize what we are going to learn, right? Right. These things need to be visualized rather than memorizing and right, rather than just listening. You just okay have an idea, right? You just when I explain, you just imagine where is the office of the vice chancellor. He is the accounting officer where he is in your university, because for last 5 days you have been working there. One week already has gone. So you might have some ideas. You are there in the universities, right? Already attached. So you can visualize the things. Where is the office of internal auditors? Internal audit unit is where is that? Bursar office where? Right? Where is the registrar's office? Right? Where are the faculties? What are the faculties? You are already, some of you are attached to the faculties, or some of you are attached to some other divisions, right? So you just visualize and come with me, right? Then it will be the thing will be easy, right? So before moving into the financial regulation part in deep, I have just right prepared this, right, not myself prepared, AI prepared. I asked, AI has prepared me. So this is our overall picture, big picture of today's session, right? So this is the area. Hope you can see the screen, right? Are you okay? Can you see the visible screen? Right? Can one of you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can
Thank
see.
you. Yeah, thank you. Right. Actually, we are going to learn about two people, right? Two guys, internal auditors, and other one is external auditors, right? So some of you have some ideas, some of you may not have some ideas. The people who came from external category, sometime you may have ideas about the government audit, right? Government sector audit. Some of you might have worked in the private sectors, right? Some of you straightly coming from the private sectors. So you may not have no ideas, right? So I want to give some ideas what this internal audit and what this external audit, what is scope, right? And what is audit management committee, what are their functions and what are their responsibilities, how we want to work with them, right? So I am the assistant bursa, you sometime assistant registrar, maybe ABO, whoever. So you're going to deal with the internal audit division, right? AIA will be here even sometime. Here also there may be some AIAs, right? Or sometime there may be previous audit assistants, right? They would have been selected as AB or AIA, maybe also here, right? So some of they may have some certain extent of knowledge they may have, right? So you are going to work with the internal auditors. So even internal auditors, AIA, for ABs, ARs, everyone. Sometimes we have to work with we have to cooperate with the work of the government auditors or maybe external auditors. So we should have to some extent at least, we should have some ideas about these things, right? That is the purpose of introducing this area for today's session, right? You guys, am I fast? Or is it okay? Am I using simple language or am I using jargon of language, jargon of words? Right? Please tell me, is it understandable or tough?
Uh, it is
Okay,
understandable, sir.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, moderate level, okay? Okay, because we have another 1 hour time. In that, I have to cover so many areas. I have to give some ideas, reference, right? So first of all, let me start with the internal auditors, right? As you know, internal auditors, right? You just from our appointment itself, we can come to know who the internal auditors are. Actually, internal auditors are appointed by the particular right accounting officer. In our case, right, universities normally we are coming under the monitoring of UGC, and executive officers are appointed by the UGC. So that commission has appointed internal auditors, right? Internal audit assistant internal auditors. For some time, they will promote the AIA to senior assistant internal auditors, likewise, right? So internal auditors are appointed by the particular university or entity, right? In our case, UGC appointing the internal auditors, right? So this is the case in everywhere, right? In other organizations, government organizations, the same thing. We are employees, right? AB also getting the same salary, AIA also getting the same salary. No difference in the salary scale, right? So we are same parallel people. So we are the employees, and we are working for the betterment and best of our entity. Say, for example, I'm appointed to the Rajarat University, right? I have to work as an AB. I have to contribute, right, to the Rajarat University, right? Overall for the country, right? First starting from the university, right? So AIA also working for the university's betterment, right? So we are right. We are right. Our functions are different. Financial functions. ARs are general administrative functions. AIAs are auditing functions, right? So this is the main thing you have to understand about the internal auditors, right? Similarly, external auditors. I'll introduce the external auditors as well, right? External auditors in our case, right? Some of you might have worked in the private sectors. Private sectors also, companies, internal auditors, they are appointed by the company, right? Board of directors or maybe the chairman of the company, they will appoint, right? Same thing happening here. In external auditors, in the company's point of view, the shareholders are appointing the external auditors, like maybe KPMG, Ernst & Young, right? There are so many audit firms. So in our case, external auditors are the now no Auditor General's department, National Audit Office, right? National Audit Office is the office, right? Where there is a head for that particular office, Auditor General. So he is the one, Auditor General is the one, he is the external auditor. Keep in mind, in our case, in all the government's external auditor, right? So our university is not appointing the Auditor General, right? UGC not appointing the Auditor General. Our ministry, Higher Education Ministry or Ministry of Education not appointing the Auditor General. So who is appointing the Auditor General? Auditor General is appointed by the President of the country, right? President will appoint the Auditor General, right? So that particular right provision is there in the constitution of this of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. I will show you those things, right? Now we will just have an idea, go to that particular areas. I will introduce the constitution. I will show you the financial regulations, right? I will show you the National Audit Act, right? Everything I will show you, right? Okay, hope you can understand, right? So here now we know who are internal auditors, and now we know who are the external auditors. right? We'll come to this committee on public enterprise later, right? Now we don't want to mix up everything. We will right learn or we will discuss about these two guys. Okay. Now this, as I told you, AIA, for example, one person has been appointed as an AIA for Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. That AIA will be directly reporting, right? Will be directly reporting to whom? To the vice chancellor, actually, to the head of the department, right? In university's case, head of the department, head of the institution is what? Who? Vice chancellor, right? Vice chancellor is the head of the institution. Vice chancellor, at the same time, for financial matters, vice chancellor is the accounting officer. So these internal audit division guys, maybe internal as AIA or SAIA, whoever, internal audit division will be directly reporting to the vice chancellor, not to anyone else, not to the government audit. Right? Normally, when we are talking about when I use the word government audit, they are external auditors, not the internal auditors. Government audit is actually meant for external auditors, right? External auditors in the sense auditor general, right? I will come to that later, right? So we'll be reporting to the accounting officer in the university system. Vice Chancellor is our accounting officer. We are directly reporting on the matters, on these matters, right? Sometimes there may be internal control issues. Internal control weakness may be there. For example, right, our vehicles are going outside without getting any approval from the vice chancellor or any relevant officer, authorized officer. Right? Then and they are whenever they want to go outside, they just take the vehicle. Drivers get the vehicle and going out. So there is no proper internal control system, right? So they, as an auditors, right, I'm introducing some examples, right? Few of the examples. So as an auditors, they have to right evaluate whether the internal not. This is one example, right? Sometime I already introduced authorization, approval, and all those things. Without approval, the payment has been made. Without authorization, the work has been carried out, right? So these are the weaknesses. So these are the things the internal auditors can, right, determine or evaluate, and he can, if there are any deficiencies or weaknesses in the system, they have to report, right? That is one of the functions. They have to review the risk management system. Say, for example, uh, in case sometime if any flood comes, there must be flood, right? Normally our countries and so many, right? Last year there was a huge flood. Peradhan University, Southeastern, there are so many places affected, right? Because of flood. So they have to ensure is there proper risk management system introduced or established within the university. So for simple example, high valuable items, computers and those things, we don't want to keep in the floor level. We can go take it to the third floor, right? Simple example, right? So this way they have to evaluate the internal control system, right? Governance process, right? Governance is, right? This is about the top level management, right? This is about the top level managers, right? Governance in the sense, right? Um, our organizational culture, right? Control environment, right? Control environment means, say, for example, a composition of finance committee or composition of the council, right? There may be some lacking parts, right? So that is, so they can identify those areas. They can report to the vice chancellor. These are the areas need improvement. There are weaknesses, likewise. So at the same time, there may be administrative issues, effectiveness may not be there, right? Mainly, right? Mainly, they have main task is they have to see the internal control system, right? Mainly, there are so many compliances, right? Sometime there may be, uh, right, compliance issues in the sense, right? Sometime the finance people, they might have prepared the accounts without adhering to the right guidelines of auditing standards. So financial, we know very simply, financial regulations, right? Expenditures are made without complying the financial regulations, right? Compliance issues, right? So many issues, so quality issues, performance wise, they can ascertain or evaluate the things and they can report to the vice chancellor, right? Hope you can get some ideas, right? So internal issues, right? Internal within the university, within our particular university, the internal auditors just let's say one construction is ongoing construction is going there, but the particular construction has been delayed for 2 years. But actually, according to our agreement, according to our tender or procurement or tender conditions, he has to complete within 6 months. So they are getting extension of time, EOT repeatedly we are giving. So nonsense, right? This is nonsense, right? More than 2 years or 3 years delaying is, cannot accept. So these are the things. These are the ways internal auditors can do. Hope you can get some ideas, right? Hello, guys. So this error mark should be this way, yeah. This is this way. I don't know how this AI or ChatGPT understood my question. Right? This should be internal audit unit should report to whom? To the vice chancellor, right? Right? Change it. Change this one. Huh? This is wrong. Hello, can you hear me? Is it
Yes, sir.
understandable? Right, you got
Yes, sir.
some ideas, right? Now we are moving on to, before coming into this audit and management committee, let me introduce the functions of the external auditors, right? External auditors. Right now, I already told you, Auditor General will be there. He is the head of the National Audit Office, right? I was working in Auditor General's department, right? When I was there, it was department, not the office, right? I was appointed in 2015 as an audit examiner, right, and worked up to 2018, right? 3 years, more than 3 years, I worked there. That time it was Auditor General Department, right? Later, after the introducing National Audit Act, right, that is actually introduced in 2018. The number is here mentioned, right? National Audit Act number, right? National Audit Act number 19 of 2018. That time we practiced as 1918. We just say 1918 Act, right? So here this is National Audit Act number. This. Okay. National Audit Act number 19 of 2018, right? That was the recently introduced Audit Act, right? We'll come to that a little bit later, right? You are familiar about this Audit University Act and all, right? So in this, okay, their functions, right? In this particular act, Audit Act, in addition to that, in our financial regulation, right? In the financial regulation that we have previously discussed, at the same time, the Constitution of Sri Lanka, right? In all these areas, in all these right laws, it is the Auditor General's the functions of the Auditor Generals are given. You can go and read. I will introduce. I will tell what are the things included there. So, what are the key functions of the internal? Right now, let me tell you. Let me ask you a question. Can the external auditors do the audit of audit division, internal audit division? Answer is yes, because internal auditors also the employees of the university, right? So they are also accountable. They are also subjected to the audit, right? I have personal experience, right? Where when I was in national audit office, I just went to the audit division and analyzing their performance, right, and put an audit query, right, saying that they have not sent they have the number of audit queries are very few numbers. So likewise, they can, because we are also paid salary, AI also paid salary, so everyone is accountable, right? No one can escape from the audit, so they can come and audit the internal audit division as well, right? So external auditors, functioning under the head of the leadership of Auditor General. Right. In addition to that, there is a separate audit commission, right? I'm not talking about the audit commission now. National Audit Commission also there. I'm not talking about that. Right. This Auditor General, only himself, one lady, right? That lady cannot do the audit of entire country's operation. Right. So this particular Auditor General, or now the commission, what they are doing is they are appointing the qualified auditors. That is why we know Assistant Auditor General, Deputy Auditor General, Audit Superintendent, National Audit Officers. Likewise, they are qualified people. They are appointed, right? So they all can do. So ultimately, this Auditor General will be reporting to whom? To the Parliament, right? President is appointing Auditor General. Parliament, to the Parliament, this Auditor General is providing his report, submitting the accounts, right? later will come, I'll connect to the scope, huh? Right. Again, so they will oversee the financial operations. They also have the authority to evaluate the internal control system, like the internal auditors did. They have all what the internal auditors did can be done by these external auditors. In addition to that, financial they can audit the annual financial statements, and they can actually they can provide an independent opinion about the financials, whether it is true, providing true and fair view. So I'm not talking about the audit opinions right now because some of you are not familiar. Sometimes if I introduce qualified opinion, unqualified, disclaimer, or adverse, so you will get messed up, you will get upset. Right? They can give an opinion. That's all. Right? For the timing, you just they can do performance audit. They can review the internal control system. If there are weaknesses, they will right report to whom? They also will be reporting to the accounting officer, right? So it's serious. They will report, or they will, report means if there are any deficiencies found, right? If they have identified any weaknesses, say for example, one person has not attended to the duty for more than 3 months. Right now, he had to pay. He was charged with no pay amount, but this no pay amount has not been recovered by the university. So he is highlighting in his audit query. He is highlighting this matter and sending it to the vice chancellor. Right. So we have to the vice chancellor has to take the action. These guys cannot do the action. Take the action. Right. Keep in mind, auditor general cannot. They cannot take the action. Action should be taken by particular auditee or particular entity or particular university. They are just reporting. They are telling. And this regarding the financial statement, they are giving opinion. Their views, right? So they are, if there are any weaknesses regarding the internal control system, they will be what? They will be right putting audit queries, right? I will introduce audit query as well. Right? If there are any things right coming to their observation, right, where there are weaknesses found, they will report to the particular university or vice chancellor and as an audit query. They are they are asking for clarification. They also sometimes may not be, you know, 100% sure. So that's what they wanted to clarify. They are saying that, okay, this happened, this person has left the university, still you are paying the salary, right? For the person who is not in the university, you are paying salary. So this accounting officer, he has to inform his subordinates, Bursar or other people to take action against that particular employee and stop the payment and recover the overpaid amount immediately, right? I told you, right? I introduced the word surcharge, right? It was they are in the finance called surcharge, right? We are recovering the overpaid amount. That is called surcharge, right? Because auditors also have this government auditors. Auditor General has the privilege to surcharge directly from the officers. Now, after this Audit Act has been introduced, they can surcharge, right? They can impose, they can say, right, 300,000 should be surcharged from this particular Mr. Bandara or someone, right? They can directly send a surcharge notice, right? I can right? Am I going in lengthy discussion? Is it understandable, guys? Is it lengthy for you?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir.
Lengthy? It's okay. Understandable, right?
Understandable, sir.
Okay, good. So why I'm telling these things is because we all are ARO, ABO, AIA. We all are working for the university. So we will have to meet. We have to meet all these people, right? In future, government or external auditors or internal auditors. We have to meet, right? So this is the area that I wanted to introduce, right? In addition to that, I will come to this picture later, right? If I discuss this picture, only this picture, it will take time. So now let's move to this, this guideline or FR, final image. Okay. Now you will very easily understand right here. This is about surcharge. I will just read and go. When it has been decided to recover a sum of money from any person under the provision of the regulation, right? That is surcharge, right? Recovery, right? Here, how the recovery can be done, right? You ARs, right? Especially ARs doing establishment or non-academic establishment, right? There may be right bond recoveries from the bond violation or maybe it's recoveries from the salary overpayment. So they are where you have to use this area. How, right? For example, so you have to recover 300,000 rupees from a person's salary or from a person, right? So within 1 year or 12 installment only, the head of the department can give. So for example, 200, say, assume simply 240,000. So 240,000 in the sense right. So let's say, sorry, 120,000 overpayment. So for 1 year, sorry, 1 month, 10,000 recovery. So it will take 12 installment. So if the 10,000, if that particular 10,000 comes down, say if it is recovered, totally 120,000 is recovered by 60 installments or 5 years, the amount will be low. No? So in that case, who will be the responsible officer to give that authority, chief accounting officer, right? If it is more than 60 installment treasury. So these things you want to be aware, right? Very critical and very important. Practically, these things are important, right? Will be required. Okay. So now let's move to this audit part. Right here. Right. You have some idea now who are internal auditors and who are external auditors. Right now, let me introduce this provision, right, in the FR number 133, right, who are internal auditors, right, for the purpose of discharging their responsibilities and, right, as indicated in the FR 128, who, accounting officers. In our case, in the universities, accounting officers, who are the accounting officers, right? Vice Chancellor is the accounting officer of the respective university, right? So accounting officers, particularly those of large departments, right? Universities comprising several units, right? Several faculties, several divisions, several departments, right? Now keep in mind, right? Accounting officers, I told you, head of the department. Accounting officer is the head of the department. In our case, head of the institution, right? University. Vice Chancellor is accounting officer. Now, if you go and work in the faculties, right? In say, for example, engineering faculty, there will be several departments, right? Mechanical department, civil department. So that department is for the academic purpose, right? Don't mix up here. So dean cannot, or that particular head of the department cannot be or cannot become the accounting officer. Huh? Keep in mind. So accounting officers, in order to write accounting officer, he's a vice chancellor. He himself alone cannot check everything, right? So Bursar is reporting, registrar is reporting, people are working with him. But if there is any mistakes or errors, or if there are any fraudulent activities, if there are any corruptions happening, who is responsible? Who can, right? So vice chancellor cannot directly come and check all these things. There should be an overseeing people, monitoring people. So that is why internal audit division is important, and internal division is right directly coming under the vice chancellor, and internal audit people are reporting directly to the vice chancellor. Why? Because they have to enable the accounting officer. They have to support the accounting officer, right? Keep in mind. So as I already told, internal control system is very important, right? They have to say, they have to right evaluate, or they have to check, or they have to check or evaluate, or sometimes there are no internal control system, they can suggest, right? This internal control system is there, not there. For example, vehicles are going outside the university without getting proper approval. So they can introduce some forms, right? Form of for prior approval things. They can introduce, they can suggest, right? So this is one of the functions. So internal control and internal check, two different things. This is internal control that I have already told. Or sometimes, so there is a CCTV camera in front of the faculty. right? That is not working for a long time because of not providing one battery, right? That is about 200,000. Battery is about 10 rupees. So there is weakness, internal control system weakness, no follow-up, no proper purchasing, no procurement, right? Likewise. Internal check is something different. Say from start to one process, say one process, so payment process, right? So in the payment, one person is signing in the place of approval. That is one. So before giving the approval, one person will prepare, one person will check, one person will that is internal check, right? After one person's work is checked by another person. Likewise, that process goes. That is internal check. So the internal auditors has to check that part also, whether internal checks, internal controls are properly there in the university system, right? And the other one is he has to assist or help or support the accounting officer. In our case, vice chancellor, regarding the monitoring, say one construction, right? I can tell the name of the universities and the real case scenario, but ethically I can't do it. That's what I will just say one building in a one department, one university. I use in that way. So one building in a university, right, has been constructed, right, but slow progress. No, slow progress means what? The hostel need to be constructed for 400 students. They are introducing or they are recruiting they are enrolling 400 students this time, and the government has asked to construct a building within this year, but it is very slow. More than 5 years, it has not been completed. Very slow progress. So no point of constructing not the time that this building is needed now. So after 4 years only, it will be ready for use. So that kind of things also can be monitored and reported to the accounting officer, right? At the same time, right, he can be the intermediary, right? Normally, this progress monitoring team or capital works is there in our universities. Capital works and planning is a division responsible for right implementing these projects, right? Sometimes there may be some other projects also there, project office is there. So vice chancellor is there in another place. So we have to be the auditors will be the liaising officer. They will write report to the vice chancellor. So likewise, these are these are the things that I have introduced. So in case of internal control system, right? Especially the ARO, AB, whoever, internal control system should be designed, right? Camera is there. They are installing camera. And second one is not designing is not enough, right? They have to ensure that it is working. Design, implementation, continuous operation, right? All these things would be there. Camera is there, no point of view cameras, right? Vehicles there, vehicles are going here and there without any proper approval. And employees are there, employees are used for personal work, personal housework or personal relief work or personal work of an officer or maybe superior of that particular officer, right? So these things can be evaluated by the internal audit team, and they will ascertain, right? They will ensure how the assets are safeguarded, right? Sometime, right? People, right, just come and take their chair, one chair, and going home, and sometime one laptop taking outside, right? There is no inventory, proper records are not kept. Just taking the inventory and mouse, even a small mouse, 2,000 rupees cost. He's taking and going outside home, so outside and using for the personal use, right? So these things need to be right. He has to internal auditors need to ensure, right, all the assets purchased have been recorded in the inventory register, right? All the computers purchased have been recorded in the computer register, computer and accessory register, right? All the fixed assets are registered. Fixed asset includes both movable and immovable properties recorded in the fixed asset register. All these things have been accounted and properly brought to the accounts. All these things have to be right monitored, also evaluated and reported by the internal audit division directly to the accounting officer. In our case, vice chancellor is the accounting officer. So they can evaluate, right, whether establishment got simply right marking our attendance, right, is properly happening or not. This is mentioned in the E-code, so we have to abide by, right? So if you want to get leave, obtain leave, we have to get prior approval. Is it happening or not? So otherwise, it will be treated as what unauthorized leave and will be recovered for the no pay amount will be recovered from our salary, right? So these are the areas, right? I can talk a lot of things, but uh, within the time I have to complete, they can conduct special investigation, right? So these are the areas I can introduce about the internal auditors and their functions, right? If you want more knowledge, you can just read this, right, in deep. What is the action can take in this situation, right? I missed when, but in which situation, right? I have received a question. What is the action can take in this situation, right? Please explain the scenario because I have already passed the areas. Scenario and repeat your question. Huh? Okay. Now again, independence of internal auditor. Right. This is also one of the important part or important area. Not only the internal auditors, external auditors also should be independent. Right. So independence should be right in two ways, in appearance and in mind. Right. I'm not going to explain you in deep. Right. So simply I can tell what I can give you one example. Say, right. For example, I am working as an assistant bursar, right? So one the auditor maybe right, right. Wife, my spouse is working in the internal audit. No, right? This is in appearance, right? Everyone knows that that particular Mrs. Safeek will not find fault in Mr. Safeek, right? That is very obvious. So this is just a very clear example for independence. And otherwise, other thing is independence in mind. Our mind also should be very independently. Our mind should be there. For example, say for example, I have AB. I am AB, right? I have someone, right, got to know that I have corrupted or involved in a fraudulent transaction, 50 million. So you found this matter and coming to me, I'm telling him, I'm telling you, the internal auditor, we will have a compromising situation. I will give you 25 million. I will give you 25 million. 50-50 share. So in this case, right, I as an auditor, I sometimes may think, okay, 25 million, right, I'm taking right for the entire service of 30 years. Sometime I may not earn that much of money. So is it okay if I get this amount? So this also cannot happen, right? This is called independent in mind. Right? This is a scenario, simple scenario I can. So internal auditors also should be independent, right? Independent people, independently they have to work, independent of the control of those who are responsible for area, for the matters, right? I am the AB procurement, right? So I have to be so auditors to be independent from me, right? Because independent in the sense, right? Major transaction, major, I cannot borrow loan from him. Those are the areas, right? Just talking and having a small, just a friendship will not violate, will not, right, threat to the, will not be the threat to the independence, right? There are some areas, it will take time if I explain those things. Right now, leave it. Okay. Here, right, most importantly, internal audit division or internal auditors report direct to the head of the department. In our case, vice chancellors, right? Vice chancellors are the accounting officer or head of the department, head of the institution. They will be reporting, right? Okay, right. One more thing I will. This is also one of the practically I will tell you, right? Internal auditors. What's happening is internal auditors. They are coming and doing the audit, and they have identified some shortcomings, right? Say for example, uh, the procurement division has purchased, you know, given order for i5 computer, right? i5 computer actually by paying for amount of 300,000 rupees each. So actually we have i7 computer, right? We have received i5 computer. We ordered i7, we received i5 computer, right? In this case, auditors coming and find that we have received wrong item. After 1 year, they are coming and testing and getting finding this meta, find out this meta. After 1 year, maybe some couple of months, we have already made the payment to the supplier as well. So in this case, they are reporting, right? So what I want to give you here is, here this is one case, right? One method, one scenario. So in this case, auditors, internal auditors, they might have put an audit query to the procurement division. So sometime this matter may be preferred by the government or external auditors as well. Sometime external auditors also, what they will do is they will you know they will come to know about this matter through audit department, internal audit division, right? This is my point is here. Some people, procurement division AB will come and say, you are the people, you have given this matter to the internal external auditors. So how can you give? They will come and put a blame. Actually, keep in mind, right? Copies of internal audit reports pertaining to the financial operation of a department should be furnished to the Auditor General, right? They should furnish to the Auditor General. So they can't hide everything. Everything is transparent. They can give. If Auditor General, they will come and ask, okay, what are the audit queries you have put to the, the division? Give your performance. That time we have to give. Another thing is, in auditing standard, there is audit. There are some auditing standards. Auditing standard number 610, using the work of internal auditors. Government auditing standards. Auditing standards are used by the external auditors, not by the internal auditors. Huh? External auditors will be using the auditing standard, right? So in that particular auditing standard, there is a section, separate number, auditing standard number 610. They are, right? They are allowed, government auditors, the external auditors are allowed to use the work of the internal auditors, right? So no way, right? If the government auditors are asking any information or any audit queries of internal auditors, audit report of internal auditors, they have to give. They have to give. They can't hide everything. Right? Nothing cannot be hidden. Everything is transparent, and everything should be forwarded to the Auditor General if they are asking. Right? Hope you got some ideas out of my out up to this level. Right? Can one of you reply? Is it okay, understandable, or useful? Okay. My first question is: is it understandable? Is it understandable?
Yes, sir.
What is it useful?
Very useful, sir.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So these are small minor sections, right? These are mine, right? Very, when you're practically dealing these areas, there will be so many headaches, right? Practical problems, right? I'm giving solutions to the practical area, practical problems, right? Some people will come and fight with you with the internal auditors. Why did you give this from you only? These people, these guys got this information, so you can just tell them these general guides, so audit people, government auditors, they ask these things we have given. According to this section, we have given. So that is the answer you have to give. Right? This is about internal auditors. Okay. So in this area, if you have any clarification regarding the internal auditors, you just come and for. Right? I can give an overview for your practical cases, practical scenarios, practical applications. Right? Right. Let's move to this government auditors or external auditors part. Right, Auditor General. Right, there is no more Auditor General department now. Right, there is an office, National Audit Office. There are no audit examiners now. Right, OLA, that means National Audit Officers. Right, State Audit Officers, National Audit Officers. They are National Audit Officers. Right, audit examiners have been become as national or state audit officers, right? After that, there are superintendents, right? Senior assistant auditor general, assistant auditor general. There are so many areas, right? Right. Before coming to this core area, I will, right? give some ideas about the Auditor General, right? Right. In this duties and functions of the Auditor General. Right. Now you know who is Auditor General. Not only the Auditor General plus those who are appointed by the Auditor General, those who are working under the Auditor General. That means qualified auditors. They all can what? All are treated as the external auditors, all are treated as the government auditors, all are coming under the Auditor General. So all the qualified auditors have to carry out all these duties and functions. Right? So here come. So these are the areas, right? Public Service Commission, Cabinet of Ministers, Parliament Office, right? Parliamentary Commission, Secretary General of Parliament, Election Commission, right? Whatever the organization, public corporations, for public business, state-owned enterprises, universities, everything will be audited by Auditor General, right? I told you one person cannot do the audit of every area, so he is appointing qualified auditors. Simple, right? So Auditor General will be performing his duties, right? Right here, Auditor General shall have, sorry, is a person authorized by shall in the right. Auditor General authorized people, qualified auditors, they have some duties. They have some duties. What are the duties? Sorry, they have some, yeah, they have some duties. They can access to all books. Say, for example, our right fixed asset register, vehicle logbook, vehicle entries, exam claim vouchers, right? Paid vouchers, paid slip, right? Everything, all documents. Nothing can be escaped, right? Records, returns, and other documents. If we are not providing these documents to them, then that will be giving a serious impact in our final account. Universities are preparing final account, so they will provide qualified opinion or disclaimer of opinion, right? In this case, in audit case, qualified is worst case. Worst case, not seriously worst case. That is not good for our account. Unqualified is good, right? Don't confuse. In normal scenario, qualified is good, but in audit scenario, qualified is bad, right? Right. So this, if you are not providing these documents, that will be having impact in what? In the audit report. So that will be giving serious discussion or serious impact in the Committee on Public Enterprise scope discussion. Right? We'll come to that later. So they can go and check the stores, other properties, right? Locations everywhere. So if they other thing is to be furnished with such information and explanation as necessary. They are asking some information from us. We can't object. So keep in mind, your subordinate, now you are boss, no, you are executive officer, so head of division. Your subordinates may sometimes, they sometimes may give some information. So don't allow them to give information without your permission. If you are giving some information, you just discuss with your boss and immediate boss and you give, right? Sometimes they may give some wrong information. Sometimes wrong audit query may come to us. So we have to avoid them in the first stage. After receiving the audit query, that will be headache for us. We have to find documents. We have to reply audit queries. Right? A lot of things we have to waste our time. So before furnishing the document, tell your subordinates, don't use these documents without my knowledge. And also, if you are giving any document, you just get acknowledgement from the auditors. Sometimes they will come and ask you, give a statement, right? Saying for example, there are no records, right? There are no internal control system. So nothing, there are no books available. There are no inventory records available. Or there are no logbook available with regard to vehicle use, vehicle services. So they will ask us to, they will request, say you are attached to the general administration, you are managing the vehicles, the drivers have not, so your department have not used the logbook entry, right? If you have the free fuel pumping, repair and servicing, all those things will be entered in the logbook, right? So not entered, not maintained. So in this case, they will request you to give a statement. Okay, we have not entered these things. We have not maintained. You are new now. You are new to the system. Don't give point blankly. Don't give the information. You just confirm. Yeah, when you are giving a statement, that will be a record. Right? Statement is a serious audit evidence to the auditors. right? They will come and tell you the COP or somewhere else. They will come and tell you in audit committee meeting also will come and tell you, right? You have given this statement. We signed and we seal and give. So when you are giving information, be very vigilant about that. Be very serious about that. Give true information and other things you can't neglect or you can't avoid giving information. You have to give, right? To be furnished all information and explanation as requested by the Auditor General, right? Auditors. Hope you can understand, right? These are the areas. Uh, all chief accounting now, right? Come to this point also important. All chief accounting officer. Now you know who is chief accounting officer of our university, ministry secretary. Who is accounting officer? Vice chancellor, right? Should ensure that every assistance is given to the auditor general, right? Keep in mind every assistance in the national audit act also it is mentioned, right? I will give you some practical case scenario. Auditors, right? Now you go and see tomorrow, day after tomorrow, go and see, right? Where is the audit office, internal audit office? Where is the national audit office? You just ask and see the office, right? So sometimes, so what the auditors, government auditors, they don't have any own building in any way except few. They have only one building, right? National Audit Office. You can see in Pattaramulla, right near to Waters Edge Park, that garden, that park, there is a building. Right? Other than that, there are maybe only two, three buildings, maybe there. I don't know about that. But in most of the cases, Kacheri, there is audit office. In universities, there is audit office, right? In all particular department or particular institution, they are giving one office. So this is the assistance we have to give. And the other thing is, if our subordinates, chief accounting officer or accounting officer, vice chancellor, I am AB, I'm not giving information. I'm refusing to give information to the auditors. They will complain them. They are not giving. They are reluctant to give information. So accounting officer can direct us give this information. What is the problem giving in this information? Likewise, in writing, and officers authorized by him in writing for the performance of right. So we have to give. In the audit act also it is there. I'll show you in a few minutes time, right? So we have to give basic facilities to the auditors. We can't say we will not give you internet connection. We can't say we will not give office for you. We can't say we will not give vehicle for doing the audit of our office, the audit with regard to the within the audit our university. You can't say sometime building has been constructed. Auditors do not have the technical people, engineers not there, technical officer not there. But there is another auditing standard. Auditors can use the work of the experts in accordance with auditing standard number 620. Auditors can use what the experts work. So technical officers maybe sometime they can hire, but sometime they will require us. They will ask from us, give you an engineer, give you a TO. We have to take the measurement of this building. We have to recheck the BOQ, whatever. Right? All these things we have to support. So if it is ministry, chief accounting officer will support. If it is accounting officer, he has to support. So we have to support and we have to cooperate with them. We have to friendly work with them, auditors, right? They are not police people. They are not army. They are not coming with a gun, right? They are also people like us. Don't fear, right? Because we are not corrupted people, right? If we are right, why don't we fear? We don't want to be right, hide anything. We can just straightforward, be straightforward, right? So this is the area, this is the basic idea I can give you. So this is how we have to work with internal auditors, and this is how we have to work with the external auditors. Our external auditors are the Auditor General and qualified auditors appointed by the Audit Commission. Hope you got some idea. Well, you got it, right? Hello, guys. Got it? Hello?
Yes, you're audible, sir. You're audible. Sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right. Now I will tell you, I will introduce you how this audit work start process and how things going. Right. So now you know about Auditor General, you know about National Audit Office, now you know about the internal auditors and things. Now I will tell you how works are going, right? So auditors will come, internal auditors or maybe external auditors. They will come and they will check or evaluate something. and they will come to know about some shortcomings. They will come to know about weaknesses. They will come to know about any mistakes or errors or other things, and they will, right? They will put an audit query. They will, right? They will ask for, right, clarification. So, right, queries will be, raised by the auditors. They will raise audit queries and they will send it to the accounting officer or chief accounting officer concerned, right? Sometimes they will, say, if they are sending the audit query to the accounting officer. Now you know who is accounting officer. Huh? Don't ask who is accounting officer. If they are sending to the vice chancellor, copy to UGC, copy to sometime ministry. They can do. They will do. But if it is addressed to the accounting officer, we have to. The accounting officer should reply to that, right? So we have to say, I told you, logbooks are not maintained, vehicles are used by unauthorized people, and payments are made without proper approval and proper approval. This work has been done or without any proper authorization. So they can highlight various things. Like this building has been constructed, but not handing over has happened. This building has been constructed, not using idling asset, right? These computers not working for a long time, right? This computer cost of this 20 number of computers coming around 5 million because of only, one battery or one small, right, accessory, right? RAM without purchasing or replacing the RAM. This has been idle. So many things, right? So many weaknesses they can highlight and they can report, right? In case of internal auditors, they will come and evaluate and report to the vice accounting officer. Same way, the external auditors also will come and highlight the things, and they will report to the vice chancellor as an accounting officer, right? Right. So we have to, right, accounting officer or chief accounting officer have to give reply to that, right? We have to immediately have to give. Say they will say reply is expected from 7 days. We have to give reply. If time is not enough, we have to ask them. Okay, time is not enough. We have to find documents. We also, these are the right practical things we have. So we can give some extended time. Okay. So this is the flow of audit query, right? There are a number of audit queries you will receive, and audit query receiving is automatic. You have to answer maybe 2-3 pages audit queries will be received. So you have to answer, reply, not point. Don't write replies point blankly. If you are confirmed and if you are very pretty sure about that particular response, just reply. Right? Don't tell the wrong things. Don't try to cheat the auditors. Right? Give the true things. Right? And also, don't challenge the auditors. We can't challenge. Don't challenge. That is not ethical. He is working as a professional. He also professional. We are also professional. Ethically, we have to work, right? And we have to be, we have to be integrity, right? Ethical requirements. Integrity as an accountant or AR or professionals, we have to have integrity, right? We have to have professional behavior, right? Professionalism should be there, right? So you have to say respectfully, you have to say, okay, this is the, you can give your answer in a statement in statement format, right? Statement form. Don't challenge them. You give the information, right? You don't say you are wrong, you put a wrong for you, like that, right? So in a professional way, you can write answers. I have written so many replies. I received audit query, right? Replied, all answers I accepted, right? No problem. Likewise, you have to, right after that, I will give you some certain, right, extra things. So once we reply to them, they will see, right, they have sent 10 points, 10 paragraph. Out of them, 8 answers they accepted, 2 answers not accepted. So what they will do is they will again, right, they will prepare, auditors will prepare audit report, annual report, that means audit report. Annually, they prepare audit report. In that report, that firstly they will prepare draft report. So then draft report will be sent to us. So we'll give answers. So sometimes that also may not be acceptable by them. So again, that will be taken to the final audit report, right? If the all are, if answers of those 2 are not accepted, that will be taken to the final audit report. That will be given to the parliament. That audit report will be given to the parliament, right? Okay. So parliament, what they will do is, right, that particular audit report will be handed to the, there are right, parliamentary subcommittees. In relation to this, accounts, there are mainly two committees: Committee on Public Accounts and Committee on Public Enterprise. Public accounts, right here, it's here in FR 1152, it is there. It's about Committee on Public Accounts, right? Why this committee? This committee is a parliamentary committee, subcommittee. This committee is fully 100% comprising the parliamentarians, member of parliament, right? Member of parliament. This committee is comprising with member of parliament, no any other people. 16 members, all 16 members are parliamentarians. State Committee on Public Accounts. Actually, this Committee on Public Accounts is not applicable to our university. Similar, there is another committee, similar committee, Committee on Public Enterprise, that is applicable for our university. This Committee on Public Account, COPA, is applicable for departments, other ministries and all. For corporations, state-owned enterprises, universities, for them, Committee on Public Enterprise, COP. That is why sometime in future you have to go to the COP. You just go and see the Parliament website. There are COP reports, COP right discussion, everything is there, right? COP. Okay, so COP is one of the important committee. So this COP will discuss, right? We'll discuss the matter that has been highlighted by the Auditor General to the Parliament, because this is parliamentary subcommittee, right? So they will discuss, they will call, right? Vice Chancellor, Bursar, Registrar, responsible officers, Treasury representatives, UGC representatives, Auditor, Government Auditor General representatives all come here and all will be sitting in a place, right? They will raise questions, right? Why this happened? What is the problem, right? What is the action you have taken? What is the action you are going to take? Why this corruption happened? Why you didn't take this? Why didn't, right? So many queries, right? So that is the function of public committee and public enterprise. In our case, public and committee enterprise, COP, right? Very seriously, right? Serious, very serious. If you are doing mistake, that's what I told you. When you are giving answers or response or replies to the auditors, when you are giving information to the auditors, be vigilant, right? Be very sure that your answers are right in every aspect, right? So committee on public enterprise is on another committee, but actually this committee on public enterprise is here. Here, standing order number 125 is right. At the time of introducing this FR, standing order number 125, right now, right, currently, right, standing order, right, I will give, take 1 minute and I will explain about standing order. Right here, paragraph number, Constitution, in the Constitution, Article 1, 2, 3, no, likewise. So in the parliamentary matters, parliamentary affairs are introduced by, each and every paragraph is introduced by standing order. So this in standing order number 119, right, recently introduced. Recently, the standing order numbers are revised accordingly. Now, currently, standing order number 119 is about COPA. Standing order number 120 is about COP, Committee on Public Accounts. Sorry, Committee on Public Enterprise. Okay. So here I can just show you the standing orders, right? Right, this is standing orders, right? Recently introduced standing order, amended in 2022. So standing order number 120, right? This is about Committee on Public Enterprise, right? So how many members? 16 members will be there, right? What are the functions? What are the responsibilities? How their reports should be prepared? Everything is there. If you want, if you need more information, go and read this Committee on Public Standing Order, which is in the parliamentary website. If you want, I can share, right? Committee on Public Enterprise. Right? So there are so many videos, there are so many COP reports in the parliamentary website, because I told you this is parliamentary subcommittee. Parliamentarians are the members. 16 members will be there in this committee, right? Right. Opposition party and ruling party, both parties will be there, right? So this is the idea I want to give you, right? This is about COP. Okay. So I hope you got some idea about internal auditors, you got some ideas about external auditors, you got some ideas about committee on public enterprise, COP. Hope, am I okay? Got some ideas.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Now let's again now. Right. In addition, right, I told you this is the flow, right? This is how happening. In addition to that, the external auditors they will give us give a report, right? Sometimes matters not included in this, audit report. I told you about audit report, draft and detailed report. In that particular report, sometimes there may be 10 points they have put audit query, 10 matters, 10 para. We have given some 8 matters they have accepted and 2 matters not accepted and taken to the final report, final audit report. So some within that 8 matters, sometimes some matters may be quite serious matters or sometimes they may be key matters, key audit matters. So sometimes the management should give some concentration on that. So in that case, what the auditors do is government audit. They will send the detailed management report saying that these are the things happen. These are the right recommendation. You have to. These are things you have to. This is the way you. Otherwise, they will ask the remedial action from us. So we have to reply them. What happened and what is the action we have taken. That is management report. So all these things will become familiar to you while you are working in the practical scenario. Okay. Now okay, now let's come to this again. Come to this auditing, sorry, financial regulation part. So that's all about right. There are so much, few other areas I have highlighted. Right. So considering the time limitation, right? I can't. Guys, here I have highlighted some areas. What are the things that you have to report or you have to provide? What are documents you have to provide to the auditors? Right, payment vouchers you have to provide, right? Uh, right, some right documents which are specifically mentioned in this financial regulation. So those things you have to provide them. You have to give to them. Right now, let's go down. Ilan Chatamurale. Right. Okay. Custody of paid vouchers. All paid vouchers should be kept under safe custody and should be produced to the auditors for audit. Right. Right here. This is this one. Right. All paid vouchers should be forwarded to the Auditor General. Audit. Audit in the sense both audit. If it is Auditor General, Auditor General. Audit means internal and external. Right. So nowadays, right, actually these are actually not practical. No, we are talking about digitalization and all. So how we can give all vouchers? We have to sometimes get auditors will take photocopies, and we have to take photocopies and we have to produce to them. Practically, these things are not happening. Right? They will come and check. Right? So don't allow them, right, to take a lot of bundle of photocopies. Right? So okay, let's go down. Right? You just go through or just have a glance on what are on the matters that I have highlighted. Don't read everything, right? Just for reference, I have highlighted few areas and not taken to the today's discussion, right? So you just read them and you'll get some ideas, right? Okay. Right. More, I told you, many documents, border survey reports, right, disposal reports, right, bank reconciliation statement, paid vouchers, paid slips, right, pay sheets, right, all things need to be right. I can tell you one example, practical example. The government department during the corona, one of my friend's wife was working in Badulaya somewhere. He's in Akrepattu, right? So that particular department wanted that particular lady, she was pregnant, right? To collect the paid slip, monthly, right? The salary pay slip. To that where to Badulya somewhere, right? During that lockdown, I think lockdown was there, and corona issue was there, right? So many issues was there, but they were very serious about this, right? FR. But actually, this was introduced in 1992. It should be adopted or re-adopted, right, in line with our basic current scenario, current requirement. We are fully digitalized. We are talking about AIs, digitalization, right, clouds and all those things. But we are still behind 30 years, 1992 in the sense more than 35 years around. So we that procurement guideline has been introduced in 2006, and then now it's okay, fine. It has been revised, but I think this also will be revised and will be adopted, right, in as fit to the current purpose. Okay. So, right, audit query register. I told you with regard to any audit queries, if you have received any audit queries, you have to maintain audit query registers, right? So, when you are receiving audit query, whether you have given the reply to the audit queries, right? What is the matter regarding the audit query, right? So, this is about audit query. Audit queries matter should be kept in the department, right? Normally, these audit matters are, coordinated by the internal audit division, right? If it is coming, if we are receiving the audit queries from the external auditors, that will be coordinated by the internal audit division. Then other things you can, I think you can just right read. Right now, let's go to this initial picture. Right, I have shown you one image, right? This one, right? This one. Now I think you are clear about these internal auditors. External auditors also clear about this, right? Here also, this arrow mark is okay. Yeah, Auditor General will be reporting to the audit report to the Parliament. This is right. Right now, functions of the COP. Now you know, right? Right. Parliamentary Oversight Committee, Parliamentary Committee, report and recommendation to the Parliament. This arrow mark also okay. Then referral, they will give referrals to the particular institutions, right? They will suggest the actions, right? So in between, there is one more thing I want to cover: Audit and Management Committee, right? Who the Audit and Management Committee and why this Audit and Management Committee is important, right? In every department, there is a committee, Audit and Management Committee, right? So I will now in terms of, in our case, in the universities, there is a council, university council is there, right? Under the council, there is a subcommittee called Finance Committee. There are several subcommittees. Finance Committee, with regard to the financial matters and audit matters, Finance Committee is there. And with regard to audit matters, there is a committee, subcommittee of the council, right? Council subcommittee, Audit Management Committee. So this committee, how this committee should be comprising? So, right, who are the members of this committee? What are the responsibilities of this committee? That also is very important for us because this is our subcommittee of the council, university council, right? See, this is also one of the important thing. So I will just tell you, right? So this audit committee, right? Audit in everywhere, in every department is there. This audit committee is a committee, right? Where internal auditor is not there in this committee. He's just a convener. He's not a member, right? And also, right, Bursar is not the member, right? He can come on observation, on invitation, right? And also government auditor also will be attending this as an observer. He also not a member, right? Member will be the vice chancellor. Normally, council chairman of the council is vice chancellor. But this committee, audit and management committee, I told you, this should be the independent committee, right? Most of the members of this should be non-executive directors. Non-executive directors in the sense outside the university, right? Deans are directors. Directors in the sense council members. Board of directors. Council members are similar to board of directors. Council is similar to board of directors. They are within the university executive directors, deans, right? So Vice Chancellor cannot be the chairman of this audit committee. So one of the council member, external member, UGC appointed member will serve as the chairman of this committee. Other members, registrar will also be the member, right? Other council members will be also there. I will show you the circular. There is circular. So this committee, what they are doing, right? This committee is doing the oversight, overseeing or monitoring responsibility. So, for example, they can evaluate whether these internal auditors are independently working, independent from the others, whether these external auditors are independent from our university. Sometimes Vice Chancellor may be the accounting officer, audit superintendent, auditor general, or that particular auditor may be his wife. Independent is impaired there, no independent, right? So whether these internal audit queries are timely responded or replied, or external external audit queries or external audit reports, right? External audit queries are promptly replied. All these things, right? The internal control system is okay, right? Whether there is any proper internal control system, or if there are any weaknesses, or if there are any suggestion to be needed, right? All these things are monitored by this committee. This is subcommittee, right? This committee will report to the council, right? That's it. That's all about this committee. Now let me let me show you this circular about this committee, right? They are mainly, right? Audit and Management Committee, Audit Management Committee, right? Audit people, Management people committee, comprising both parties, right? Here, hope you can see this screen, right? I have shared you one commission circular 807. Can you see this? Hello, can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, member of the council, 2 members, right?
Sir,
Yes.
only the file has not been opened yet, sir.
No, it's okay, right? Right, guys,
Yes,
dear colleagues, keep in mind, all these things will be helpful for your EB exam, right? For your EB exam, there will be no source, right? There will be no people to teach you. In our case also, we face the same problem, right? This is how the members, these are members, right? You just go through this, right? And another thing is, the important thing is terms of reference, right? Right, what they do. This is very important. What they do, what the internal auditors do, right? They determine the scope of internal audit. Scope in what are the areas, what are the things they have to do the audit. Right? Review the annual audit plan, internal audit plan, evaluate the internal control system, review the external auditors management letter. I told you, management letter they will submit. So what are the responses we have given, right? Whether review of financial statements, right? Auditory matters, compliance matters, right? All these things they will interact with the internal auditors and external auditors, right? So these are the scope of scope of this audit committee, audit and management committee, right? Okay, no, got it. You got something, right? That's all about audit committee. Hello?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got
Okay.
it.
Now, right? See this. Right now, see one more thing. Right, this is the constitution, right? In the FR, right? In the FR, it has been they have finance ministry has told about the functions of the auditors. And basically, auditor general, external auditors. Basically, initially, their functions are incorporated or mentioned in the constitution, right? Right now, right? Let me show you where it has been mentioned about the final basic document is here. Final, constitution is the fundamental to everything. This is the supreme law. After constitution, only other things, right? So about the powers of the duties and functions of the auditor general mentioned in the constitution, which is the supreme law. After that, the functions and the duties of the Auditor General mentioned in the National Audit Act. Again, Act also passed in the Parliament. This is also one of the key. And again, the financial regulation also. This is right. The functions and the audit, the responsibilities of the Auditor General, are mentioned, right? Right. I told you, no, right? There should be audit service, national audit commission, right? Everything that I have told you, right? This is about, right, the article number, right? Article number 153 of the Constitution. If it is parliamentary matters, standing order number. If it is FR, financial review, FR. This is Article 153 says about the Auditor General's appointment, disqualification, qualification, removal of the Auditor General, right? Everything is there. Right after that, most importantly, in 154, right? 154, we have already discussed in the FR, right? Not in 154, 153. There are certain powers and duties and functions, right? These also we have already discussed, right? If you want in deep, you can just go and read these, right? They will be right doing the audit of the government entities, right? So what are the institutions they will audit? So 153 and 154 are about the Auditor General and external audit in the Constitution, right? This is one of the another important thing that you want to know, right? One more final thing, right? I want to tell you one more final thing, right? I think time up already. We have in E-code also some areas are mentioned, right? I'm not touching that now, right? This is the in E-code mainly it's about internal audit. You just read if you have time. And this is another one, right? This is one more important thing I want to brief you. Can in depth I can discuss, but I don't have time now. So National Audit Act number 19 of 2018. This is another very important right here. This Audit Act is governed for the auditors, but for us also there are certain things, right? For us also there are several things, few things that we have to be aware, right? So Auditor General shall be responsible to Parliament. Same things we have discussed, right? They are in addition to the functions and in addition to the duties mentioned in the FR, mentioned in the Constitution, there are several other functions available in the National Audit Act. You just go and read, go through the similar things, but you can have some ideas if you need. There are some AIAs are there. So one case, and also one more important thing, the Auditor General now, after this act was introduced, now they have another supreme power. They have the authority to surcharging power. I can give you one example. I'm not telling the university name. I'm not telling the university. My friend, one of my colleagues, right? He called me one time. Safeek, I received one surcharge notice from the Auditor General regarding the construction of building, right? Overpayment or something, or improper construction or something. So how should I deal with? I advise it. Okay, you just tell them, right? There are delegations. No, if FR 135, you are the last person, right? You are certifying the person, but in that particular when you're certifying, you have to, right? You have to be you have to get the final responsibility, right? I am according to my personal knowledge. I have right everything approval, author, everything is there. But still, I advise. Okay, you just tell them. There are before you. There are several people. No authorization, approval before doing the work. Engineer is there, technical officers there. So you just tell them. So now then after that I called and asked. So surcharge notice directly to her name, right? Mrs. Pushpika, Mrs. Somalata, for example, Mrs. Somalata. So again, they what they that particular university did is for not only to have for some officers, right? Based on their percentage, they were asked to pay that money to the government. They have sent an appeal or something to UGC, then that matter was settled. So now what I'm telling is surcharge is recovery, right? Recovery of overpayment of something, right? So that is, now the audit office is, right? Audit Service Commission is, yeah, they are empowered with surcharging overpayments, right? Or irregular payments, overpayments. Surcharge. Surcharge means what? Recovering the sum of money due to the government, which is due to the government. So there are several other factors or several other sections in this imposition of surcharge. You just go and read this, right? So you know about Audit Service Commission. You just have idea. You got some idea, right? There is a commission, Audit Service Commission. There should be, that is a separate office. For them, there are furnitures. Officers will be working on Audit Service Commission and Audit Service Commission. There is another office, National Audit Office, right? So in this commission, there were some commissions introduced according in the 19th amendment of the Constitution. I think 18th or something, 18th amendment or something, right? Few independent commissions were introduced. Later, what happened is all commissions were functioning except two commissions, right? Only National Audit Commission was temporarily, right, not function. I think this was in 20th amendment or something, right? It was removed from, they were hold, right? And also procurement, National Procurement Commission, right? Later in 21st amendment of the Constitution, now they have been given the authority. Both commissions have been set up. That is why there is a National Procurement Commission. Procurement guideline we are getting from that particular commission. Similarly, Audit Commission, now only this Audit Commission is functioning, right? Earlier, it was stopped. Other commission, Police Commission and other commission were functioning, right? So that's all about, that is the brief idea I wanted to share with you today, right? So I think I have contributed to some extent, right? According to, right, based on my knowledge I have gathered from, right, 3 years of experience in the government audit, right? And, private sector audit also I worked, right? The KPMG I worked. And as an accountant, government accountant, I worked around 8 months or something in a DS office. And with this and another 8 years of experience in the university system, cumulative experience, maybe more than 10 years of experience I have. So based on my experience, I have contributed to share some insights and, knowledge that I know, right? Hopefully believe that you have benefited at least to a few extent from my lecture. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, right? Let's wind up the class. Before winding up, one can give a feedback apart from Murthy Ayya. Another person can
Yes, of
tell
course,
something,
sir.
right?
Yes, of course, sir. Uh, uh, just I also give the chance to the others.
Yes.
കൗററിയിക്കണിക്കും
I
யாரா
think
ஃபவுஷன் இருக்கிறதானே தங்கச்சி ஃபவுஷன் has left.
Sir, literally, it is very beneficial to us to understand the government audit procedures and government financial procedure. And could you please share the financial regulations and the other documents you have showed in the Zoom meeting?
definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for your help and guidance. We are expecting to guide us in next week as well. If there is any uncovered items in your mind, you can share with us also.
Okay, definitely. Thank you very much. Okay, that's all.
Sir, give me a few
Okay,
seconds.
I will share the documents, relevant documents, right? Later, not now. I'll share you maybe tomorrow, Monday. Okay.
Yes, sir. Give me a few seconds, sir. Actually,
Sure, sure.
it's very helpful on, for the external candidates, especially Sir knows well. The external candidates set the exam. They have the papers not pertaining to the university. And also, sir, on behalf of all participants, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our subject, sir, for conducting this enlightenment webinar on understanding the functions of internal auditors, external auditors, audit committees, and committee on public enterprises, within the state universities in Sri Lanka. Thank you, sir. And you're showing a deep understanding of the subject and the situation, providing clear and valuable ideas and presentation, practical perspectives, and expert guidance have greatly enhanced our understanding of this important subject, sir. We would like to also express our sincere appreciation to our beloved comrade Rohit Herath, Nirmal, for their dedication and invaluable efforts on organizing this successful online event. Their commitment and hard work have made this session both informative and impactful, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you all for your valuable contribution to knowledge sharing, professional development. We truly appreciate your time, sir, expertise, and support. Thanks again, sir. We need your support again in ahead. Thanks again.